It is March 19th. It is day 58 of the Trump presidency. Sorry I'm late. I have a really busy week this week, and they did move me to the third step for the interview process, or I guess I think it's the fourth step now. Anyways, it's the last step. I have one more 30-minute interview tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then they will either say they want me or not or whatever, you know? So we're going to find out tomorrow. Actually, I don't know if I'll find out tomorrow, but at least we'll be done with this additional crap that I have to do at night. I also had parent-teacher conferences tonight. So anyways, sorry I'm late. It's hard having 18,000 jobs. I have too many jobs right now. It's too much. But here I am, and we're going to cover all the nonsense that happened today, as we do every day. The Justice Department is refusing to provide any details on the deportation flights to Judge James Boasberg. They're just basically like, it's none of your business. Stay out of it. They said he's trying to interfere with the executive branch. I hate these people so much. I literally, nobody wants to feel hate. I don't think it's great for you necessarily, although it's not the kind of I'm so used to this sensation now after years of this. It doesn't really it doesn't raise my heart rate. It's not doing anything to my blood pressure. It's just a very calm knowing that the day that it happens, and you know what I'm talking about, I'm going to breathe a sigh of relief. I'm going to laugh a little bit. I'm going to have a snack, and I'm going to sleep like a baby that night. And I am waiting. Tell you what, I am waiting. It won't be enough, though. Don't get your hopes up. There's going to be a mad dash to take his place. It probably will barely, it'll matter. Again, I've said this before. I think that there will be a large degree of psychosis that is experienced by his followers after that. You can really only call them followers. They're not it's not a normal relationship between a president and citizens at all. It's something else entirely. In any case, they are refusing to comply with Judge Boasberg's requests. It's a showdown right now between him and the Trump administration. And what's crazy about it is the Supreme Court, at least Justice Roberts, has already come out and said, this isn't appropriate. We're not going to impeach this guy. So I don't think that they're really on Trump's side. And maybe people are starting to, what's the saying? See the writing on the wall. Okay, that's one way to say it. That they're next. You know what I mean? If you don't do exactly what he wants you to do, you're next. In which case, there is no one is safe. Anyways, speaking of no one is safe, Trump is going after Maine and the University of Pennsylvania for allowing trans athletes to participate in women's sports. So he suspended $175 million in funding to the University of Pennsylvania, and he's given Maine 10 days to comply with removing trans athletes from women's sports before they're prosecuted by the DOJ. Again, very tough position that a lot of different states are put in. So much for states' rights, right? That doesn't actually exist. And I think anyone who was paying attention knew that it didn't. People kept being oh, it's going to be up to the states whether or not you can have abortion. No, it's not. No, it's not, bitch. No. We're going to have a national abortion ban. I'm surprised it's not already done. It's coming. I promise. It's coming. They hate women. They hate women. They are trying to nail us back to the wall as fast as humanly possible. Because otherwise, women don't want to be abused anymore. They just don't. They don't want to be trapped in a house and abused by a man. And again, women are surpassing men in a lot of really critical data as far as how much money they're making when they're buying homes, how much education they have. And I don't entirely understand that. I think, I've heard some pretty interesting opinions about why. for whatever, all we know is this. A lot of young men are just failing to thrive. Like they're not pushing themselves to do the things that young women are doing. And it's creating a disparity in education and essentially in class, right? Like they're not pushing themselves into the same class bracket as young women. I don't think this has anything to do with what used to divide people into class, right? You can sort of achieve a class level in the United States of America. This is what we used to like about this, right? That isn't based on your family. It's not based on where you're born. If you want to become very well educated and read a bunch of books and work really hard, you can push yourself into a different class level than your family existed in, right? And for some reason, young men, if anything, are doing the opposite. Like they're taking a step back. There's a lot of young men that are maybe born into wealthier families that just stay in their basements. So in any case, I think, again, Project 2025 sees this. I don't know if they see it that way, but they see that women and men are not going to church anymore. They're not getting married. They're not having enough kids. And they're seeking to solve the same exact problem, which is a low white birth rate. They do not care about other birth rates that they were trying to solve in The Handmaid's Tale. It literally is the same exact thing as that show. Fun fact, I watched all of the seasons that were available of that show up until 2016 while I was pregnant with my daughter. For some reason, you'd think that I would be like more sensitive to something like that. I don't know. Pregnancy made me feel really grounded. I wasn't as scared. I wasn't that scared then. I should have been. I should have been more scared. I didn't think it was a documentary, but now I understand that it is. Anyways, the Federal Reserve came out today and they kept rates the same. And they said that they expect economic growth to be half of what they had previously predicted before Trump took office. So before they were predicting around a 2.7, 2.8 amount, like percentage of growth to the GDP. And now they're predicting like 1.4, 1.5. That's what happens, babe. They said that they believe that tariffs are going to increase inflation. And no one knows for sure. They haven't said that they're absolutely not cutting rates. They were previously planning to cut rates at least twice this year. We don't know if they haven't changed that plan publicly. However, economists are saying they do not expect them to cut rates. They don't expect to see any change in mortgage rates, loan rates, or credit card rates, or auto loans, maybe this year. Cheers to that. I don't know, man. We're in a really big mess. Maybe if the stock market completely fucking crashes, like, depression style, maybe. I don't know. I just know that, no one's taking their foot off our necks anytime soon. This is a huge bummer. Greenpeace, like the environmental activist agency, just lost a huge case in court against the Dakota Access Pipeline people, like the company that was doing that. I'm sure you guys heard about that. Like basically, the Dakota Access Pipeline Company is saying that Greenpeace was interfering in their building and harassing them and obstructing them and yada yada. So Greenpeace has been ordered to pay $650 million out to that oil company. And Greenpeace is basically like, this is probably going to bankrupt us. Yeah. I mean, this is the world we live in right now doesn't give a shit about justice or cruelty. Like the cruelest shit imaginable is happening left and right and no one is stopping it. So this is probably not the time to have expectations that justice will be served. I mean, I think, obviously, sometimes justice will be served because somewhere in here, I'm going to talk about, we'll just say it now. Top Tesla investors are starting to get really freaked out. And one of the main top Tesla investors, Ross Gerber, has publicly asked Elon Musk to resign. A lot of people are saying he's begging him to resign. I do think, a lot of investors are also selling off their Tesla stocks, including, I guess, his brother did have a bunch of Tesla stocks and sold them all. Yeah, it's probably smart. It's probably not a bad idea. So sometimes there's justice. We'll see if we can get a little more justice on that side. But, there's not enough of it. We're going to need a lot more justice if anyone's listening. Anybody who can provide us with justice, we would like some. So Trump is trying to convince Zelensky to give the United States ownership of Ukrainian power plants for security. Don't do it, Zelensky. I know Zelensky's really in between a rock and a hard place, and he kind of has to continue. He's got to kowtow to Trump in every way he possibly can if he wants to get his people out of this and safe. But I think that we all know that the United States and Russia are besties, and it's really not safe for him to do that. I don't know what he's going to do. And I don't know what Trump is offering in return. I don't think I think hopefully he knows better, and hopefully he understands. I think everyone with eyes and ears understands that Trump is a Russian asset, but I don't know. I'll update you if I find out more. Trump is has already cut off funding to a program that was tracking, this is so disgusting. It was tracking Ukrainian children that had been abducted by Russia. This is what I'm talking about. That is psychotically evil. Can you imagine if we were bombing a country and taking the kids from the parents simultaneously and then brainwashing them? That is fucking sick. I'm sorry. That is absolutely evil. But, Putin is a disgusting monster. I'm honestly so tired of monstrous men and the shit that they do to this world. It just makes it barely worth it to even be alive. Seriously. It is a drag on this planet sometimes to just, I don't know. I don't blame the people who want to not be informed. I completely understand. Unfortunately, I have some sort of obsession. It's not even a control thing. It really isn't. I don't feel in control knowing this stuff. I don't know what it is, actually. It does feel a little bit like there's some sort of part of me, my fate or something that is just tied to talking about this shit because I can't stop. It's not, it's a compulsion for sure. To read this and to tell you guys is a compulsion. Otherwise, for sure, I would not be doing this for free. Are you kidding me? Although I will say, I have already gotten an application from YouTube. YouTube has to invite you to apply to be a creator. Okay. And you have to have 4,000 hours of your content watched by people, right? So people have to watch your content for a total of 4,000 hours in a period of 90 days. And actually, I'm almost 100% of the way there, which is absolutely bananas because I've talked to other people that said that it took them over a year or 2 years, whatever. Anyways, YouTube invited me. It just popped up in my account one day and you fill it out. And then I got an email from them saying I will hear back from them by the end of April and that there's limited spots for YouTube creators, yada, yada. So I'm sure that they probably go in and they evaluate your channel and decide if they feel like fucking paying you for it or not. Right. I don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see. But it would be nice to get something for this because it is a lot of work, honestly. There's days like today where I'm just I'm really burnt out. And yet, I would never consider not doing this. So I'm just here yapping at you. So Germany and Canada, basically the members of NATO have plans to, it's an alliance, right? they had plans to buy F-35 fighter jets to replace their old aging fleets, military fleets, with these F-35 fighter jets. They were going to buy them from the United States for billions of dollars. Okay. Canada alone, I believe, had an order out for 88 of these. It was $13 billion, right? And Germany was planning to purchase 35. So you do the math. Long story short, because of what's going on with Trump, they've put their orders on hold and like they're completely reconsidering. NATO is like really unsure if the United States is going to continue to be a member. I mean, I think Trump keeps making it clear that he is really on the fence about that. Maybe they're just like waiting to see what happens, but they don't want to give the United States money right now, nor should they. I mean, honestly, like, again, no matter what we're talking about, financial protest is one of the most powerful things you can do, period. Whether you're talking about like you as a citizen or other countries, yeah, it's really, really powerful. Pulling yourself away financially, not participating in the system that's being abusive, it's by far the most power that we have. And, it sends a really strong message if those other countries are like, yeah, we're not doing business with you anymore. You're acting like a psycho and you're literally destroying the entire world. And the whole world is in chaos right now because of Trump. It actually is. If I was watching this from another planet, I would say it's almost impressive how quickly he destroyed everything. Isn't it? Like, it's kind of like, wow, that was fast. I thought there would be, I don't know what I thought, honestly. I don't even know what I think now. I just think that's what, like, a narcissist is like a destructive black hole. And he's just doing what he does. And it's working. I mean, as far as creating chaos is concerned, he's doing a fantastic job of that. We already talked about this yesterday, but just it's official. Like, Israel has launched a new ground invasion into Gaza. And people on the ground, Palestinians are saying like there's literally nowhere that's safe. And yeah, I mean, that's another situation where the writing is on the wall. I understand why they do not want to leave. At the same time, I think that people who stay, like, Israel is making it really clear they're going to be killed. There's no point in pulling punches at this point. If there's no other country that's willing to stick their nose in there and like do something, which it doesn't appear there is, then there is only two choices. Like, you have to either go if you want to live, or Israel, because it is like watching a full-grown man punch a 9-year-old girl. They don't have a military, dude. They don't have any way to defend themselves. They don't even have food and water. They have nothing. Their lives are completely destroyed. And I can't imagine how desperately they want to just be home. And yet sometimes horrible things happen to us. And like, if you refuse to accept the reality of the new situation, worse things can happen. And I mean, this isn't advice, because everyone who's Palestinian that I followed or had contact with in the past on TikTok, they've all been erased from TikTok. I haven't seen, I think all their accounts are banned. So no one who's Palestinian is probably going to ever see this, but I just know that it's very clear that these two psychopathic superpowers are not going to stop unless someone steps in and stops them. And I don't know what that looks like. So, and I don't even know where they go. Like, is there even anywhere that's willing to accept them right now? It's just so disgusting. Oh, God. The world is really gross. Like, really, really gross. The grossest it's ever been in my lifetime, obviously, for sure. I think that there's other times, like, I feel like during World War II, people had to assume that was the apocalypse, right? And that Hitler was obviously the Antichrist. I would assume, like, how could you not think that when that was happening? Unless people didn't know. I mean, I've heard that before, that because obviously the internet didn't exist and the news was slow, that and then sometimes people thought some things were rumors, etc. Maybe people didn't have access to enough information to understand how bad it was, but I don't know. Speaking of World War II, our military websites have removed the names of the Navajo code talkers that helped defeat the Nazis in World War II. I mean, military websites have been scrubbing women, African Americans, like anyone who's not a white man. They've been scrubbing all those people off the websites. I like do the white men that are doing this understand how pathetic it makes them seem? Like, it makes them seem extremely weak and sad that like they can't, that their own accomplishments aren't enough. They have to pretend like we don't exist. Anyways, speaking of gross white men, Tucker Carlson implied that the world would be better if Hitler had won. He basically said, I don't want to say it, but with the way that Europe is now, I mean, you can't just say it, but what if it had gone differently? He's fucking white trash. Honestly, all those people are white trash to me. Trump is white trash. Every single person involved in his campaign is white trash. Every person he's ever surrounded himself with is white trash. That's what I call white trash. Yeah, and Tucker Carlson is absolutely white trash. Disgusting. Yeah, we already covered the Tesla investors wanting Elon to resign. Speaking of Tesla having its worst, really, it's not like a worst day ever. It's just that Tesla is collapsing. So 5 Teslas in the parking lot. No, sorry, the parking lot of a collision center, a Tesla collision center in Las Vegas were set on fire. And obviously it was probably arson, right? People are furious. And again, I know we talked about this the other day, but like insurance companies, how long are they going to tolerate what is happening to Tesla, right? Like those cars are going to become uninsurable because of how much they're being vandalized. And whether or not Elon is, because he is publicly saying that like we're being violent towards him and like, you know, he's victimizing himself. It doesn't matter, Elon. No one likes you and no one wants your fucking product. And not to mention, Teslas are dangerous. Oh, Canada also disinvited Tesla from some sort of like huge car show or something. And they said it has nothing to do with politics. It's just not safe to have Teslas there. And they meant that, I believe, I don't know if they meant that like Teslas might blow up or maybe someone's going to set them on fire. Anyways, kind of funny. Funny to people like me. Anyways, we think it's hilarious. This is not hilarious. So you know how Trump dismantled Voice of America, which is our sort of like overseas television, which by the way, China was ecstatic about that. I don't know what kind of shit they were saying on Voice of America. I never knew that it existed, honestly. Now I do. Anyways, Trump is turning that into his own state TV channel, like Russia has. And he says it's going to be the authoritative source of news. Like literally just, there's no way. It's got to take a lot of deep breaths if you want to read this drivel. This is our last story. The year is 1963. It might as well be. Because here we are fighting the same fucking fight again because segregated facilities are no longer prohibited by our government in government contracts. And that was a protection that was put in place in 1965 by Lyndon B. Johnson. Obviously, like, we still have civil rights. It is still a violation of civil rights. It's complicated. I think the message is loud and clear. The message about what's going on here is loud and clear. We hear you. You're fucking racist. You're all white supremacists. We know. We know what your goals are. We know what you're doing. You couldn't make it any clearer. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we're going to end tonight with one little funny story from TikTok that I saw. This video had like 1.6 million likes or something insane. So Lord knows how many views. And I don't even know where this bar was, but it was a woman in a Trump hat had walked into a gay bar. And the bartender is like very clearly, I think, trans or for sure gay. And everyone behind the bar is gay, obviously. Like they're working at a gay bar and they're very much aligned with LGBT rights, obviously. They're working there. And they told this woman to get the fuck out. And she literally, she was like, why? Don't you want my money? And they were like, no, get the fuck out of our bar. And she's like, why? And they're like, you are a Trump supporter. We do not serve Trump supporters here. And she was like, don't you know that's discrimination? And the entire bar burst into laughter. And I'm assuming she left. In any case, I think it's absolutely bananas. What do they want from us, by the way? Like, we don't like you. We don't want to be around you. Why are you coming to our establishments? If you guys want this like segregated society where you're taking people's rights away, like stay the fuck away from us, you know? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm too pissed off to think of a happy story tonight. That's still kind of happy to me because I think it's really important, for people to stand up for themselves. And it's really important that Trump supporters understand. I don't know, like, what the myth of like leftist and liberal tolerance is, but it's not true. No, we wanted to live in a society where anyone can believe what they want without causing harm and violence to others, and that they could live their lives with religious freedom. We could all have the same freedoms, right? That's what we wanted. We wanted you to have the same rights as anyone else. And if you want to do whatever you want in your spare time, that's on you, right? That's the society we wanted. But if you're going to take our rights away, we are not going to treat you with kindness and consideration and respect. Get fucked. I don't understand why you think we would. Like, I gotta just delete my dating profiles. I don't even like anyone. I don't even like human beings. But I swear to God, I get messages from dudes being like, oh, you're looking for a liberal man. A liberal doesn't even know what a man is. And I'm like, why are you talking to me, bro? Are you kidding me? Like, get out of here. Anyways, it was a much longer rant than I intended. But like I said, every day that goes by, I'm just mad at these people. And I don't know what to do about other than, I guess I'm just going to yell at you instead. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. My interviews will be over and we can return back to our normal lives where I'm not as grouchy and I have more energy. See you then.